create a new stream here with observable create, and we get the consumer here as we saw in the previous videos. And on the consumer, we have this next method where we can next values, which we've already learned in previous videos, and then we can subscribe and console log out. And each of these values will be logged out here. Okay, cool. So this subscribe actually takes 3 callbacks here. So it takes the next function, which is a function that takes in a value and returns nothing, an error function, which is optional as well, and takes in an error and returns nothing, and then a complete function, which has the same signature. So when we subscribe here, we actually have on next, on error, and on complete. So there's 3 so-called channels that we can use in the observable. And on the consumer here, we can do consumer dot error and consumer dot complete. And there's actually a contract here where if we do error, we can't complete or next values after that. If we do complete, we can't error or next values after that. So like we can next values and then complete, or we can next values and then error. That's it. But we can't like complete and then error. Likewise, we couldn't error and then next a value, right? The error has to be the last thing, or the complete has to be the last thing. You could also have an observable that never completes. So let's make some callback functions here. On next, and we're gonna log out. We're gonna log out nexted val, and then for our error handler, we'll say error, and we'll have on complete, which does not take any value, it just completes. And let's go ahead and put this error foo back in here and run this. You'll see nexted 1, 2 error foo. If we try to next a value after we already errored, you'll see RxJs enforces the contract of the observable pattern here and does not next the value after the error. And likewise, we can complete, and that just looks like this, nexted some values and then completed. And likewise, if we try to next a value after a complete, that's going to have no effect. It just completes, and then that's it. You cannot receive values after that. And likewise, if we try to error after completing, that will do nothing as well. And if we wanted to, we could use operators to manipulate these channels and turn errors into values or values into errors, or complete a stream that otherwise doesn't complete. So one example of this is the take operator. So let's say we do take 1. And that's going to be imported from RxJs/operators. And now if we run this, we'll actually see we only got 1 value and then the complete. And we could even go in here and delete these complete and error statement here, and we'll see it still completes because the take operator is actually calling complete on our subscriber for us after 1 value comes through. So that's a quick introduction to the 3 channels that you have with observables and observers. You have on next, on error, and on complete. On next can be run 0 or many times. On error can happen 0 or 1 time. And complete can happen 0 or 1 time. 0 meaning the observable just goes forever, like if you have a stream of the current time, and it just never ends. Or you could make that stream end after a predetermined time or set amount of time.